All right, everybody. This is probably my third take of doing this video. I'm going back to vlogging just because I like talking about the reality of slots. You know, I'm not just gonna talk about the wins and just overhype over the positives. We gotta start talking about even the negatives too, the downs. So I did 2 live streams. One was yesterday, last night, New Year's Eve. And another one was today, New Year's Day. At the time that I'm making this vlog right now. So both live streams ended in losses. But those were, for the record, those were money that I could afford to lose. Those are the money that I planned, that I budgeted, that I planned to play with. But the overall thing is losing sucks, regardless. It does. And I will say, all right, let me go back up a bit and say that there's positives and negatives to this whole thing. Let's go tackle the negatives first, the downs. Obviously the losses, and I'm in the topic of that. So, starting with New Year's Eve, it was going okay. But then I got teased 3 balls, with one of them being on the major on the 3rd reel, and then 2 balls on the 5th reel. So that's a total of 5 balls. You need 6, or orbs as you want to call it, instead of balls, orbs. You need 6 orbs to get into the hold and spin bonus. And had I gotten 1 more orb, that major would have been mine. That's a $600, I think that was almost $700 major, I believe, from what I remember. And I had the $50 mini too. So that was a lot of money though. That was a good amount. I would have made my money back on both of my streams, if anything, but yeah. I hate those one-offs. I would have rather those 2 balls did not drop on the 5th reel. I would have rather that not be the case, if anything. But it is what it is. I lost that night. And then New Year's Day went live again. First 30 minutes was like an up and down battle here with the slots. I was winning some, I was losing some. It was like, I was around the even range. I was like plus or minus like $50. I'm either profitable $50 or down $50. And then all of a sudden, towards the end, I would say, the last, 25, 30 minutes of the live stream, the whole thing just derailed. Starting from that moon game. I mean, ever since I had a bad bonus, it just like fell apart. All right, it just fell apart. I think from what I remember, it just fell apart. And then Buffalo wasn't any better. The Buffalo with the hold and spin wasn't even better. I forgot the exact name, but it's the Blue Buffalo game. And then, what else? What else did I play? Phoenix League, Fried Chicken Link didn't give me anything. And then Huff and Even More Puff Grand. The game that won me big, that saved my butt last Christmas Eve and had helped me to have a long live stream. This time it wasn't helping me. So all those games were not paying. And you know what? It's money that I could afford to lose. That's why I want to keep emphasizing that. I know what I got myself into, but regardless, it still hurts to lose. It still sucks. It still sucks because, you want to grow your YouTube channel. You want to make sure, of course, we're not going to be profitable with the slots, but, you want to be able to, like for me, I'm just long overdue. I want to be monetized like soon. So I have like 7 months to get my hours before I start losing them. But back on the topic at hand, that losing, it sucks, man. It does suck. And then after the live stream, ate at the buffet, and then decided to play a little bit. I was finally using my free play, and I went on that Kangaroo Lightning Link game. I forgot what it was, but it's that Kangaroo game. It was a Lightning Link, and I got 2 balls on the first reel with the major, and then 2 balls on the third reel, nothing. So I wouldn't say 1 off, I was 2 off though. I mean, at least it's better than having 5 balls and having nothing, but still, it really stings. And that was a maxed out major. That was a freaking maxed out major, $1,000. Oh my goodness. I was thinking like, man, I just imagine hitting that $1,000 maxed out major. It was crazy. And then I kept trying, and then after that, that's it. That's it for the day. And then like, I waited for my folks to finish. And then all of a sudden I come back like 20 minutes later to that same machine, and it's like, oh my goodness, somebody hit that already. I mean, I'm glad I didn't witness it. I'm not saying I'm happy for that person, don't get me wrong, but it's like, man, I kind of wish that major was mine at $1,000, you know? But it is what it is. That's the reality of it, man. That's the reality of it. So, I mean, it was just disappointing, the fact that, it's like another losing session, especially after that hot session I had on Christmas Eve that lasted me 4.5 hours in the live stream. Man, my goodness, it hurts. But let's go to the positives here. The positives was that I'm starting to find some momentum here with the YouTube. My concurrent viewership is finally going at 100 plus people in the chat, so I'm so glad for that. But then again, I hope that when I go live 2 weeks from now, I don't want to get screwed over. That's what I want to say. I really do not want to get screwed over with my viewership. I don't want to be back down to under 30, under 40 concurrent viewers, and never like going past like 50 or something, that situation. I mean, I was like stuck at 10 or 20. It was nuts because I had a decent momentum in September, October, and then November, I just suddenly fell apart. I was like, what happened? I didn't even take a break. I could see if I took 3 months off, but I didn't even take 2 weeks off. Like, what the heck? So that was what shocked me in November and the first half of December. But suddenly, YouTube decided to listen to me and finally just granted me my viewership. And I need those viewership for my watch hours, man. So I'm kind of glad that I'm back at that momentum, though. But at the same time, I'm hoping that I'm maintaining that momentum, because I got 7 months until the first part of my watch hours starts to disappear in, I would say, August, September-ish. So 7, maybe 8 months. So yeah, I'm going to keep posting videos. I'm going to keep going live, but for the time being, because I lost most of my profits from my Christmas Eve live stream. That was, yeah, and it hurts to be going through that. I'm gonna just take a bye week next week. Take a bye week for the week of what was it? I know I like to go live mostly on Saturdays, but just like take a bye week on Saturday, January 10th, and then come back to doing slots on the 17th. But this time at like early, like 1 o'clock in the afternoon Pacific time. So yeah, that's just what I'm gonna be doing. So just trying to take it easy. I'm gonna be posting some videos along the way. I'm gonna be posting some recaps as well, just to get my watch hours. I appreciate it for the support, everybody here. But yeah, going back to the positive, I'm just glad that I got the momentum going. And I'm glad to be meeting a lot of these great people here, a lot of you guys. It really means a lot, and I can't wait to even meet some of you guys in person, because I know for me, I just like doing this slots thing because, it just gets me out of my head. It gets me out of my comfort zone. I want to be more out there. It's hard meeting people nowadays, It is. It really is, to be honest. You know, I mean, the only place you can meet people is at work or joining clubs. But, you know, I decided like YouTube would be my thing to try to meet people, you know, just to get out of my head. But, you know, and also too, about my name, my channel name, I don't think I'm gonna call it Lone Wolf Gambling, because at some point I might end up hanging out with other people, but we'll see. I just wanted to name myself Lone Wolf because I'm like typically by myself and I run my own channel by myself. That's why I kind of named it that, but I just want to switch it back to maybe Matt's Gambling. Maybe change slots into reality. So it's going to be called Matt's Gambling Reality is what I want to call it. We'll see, because people still know me as Matt's Gambling, you know. Because when you make a drastic name change, people would not recognize you unless you're like really well known in the community, which I'm not. So I'm not even close to being average known in the slot community. But yeah, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, I'm just gonna call myself maybe Matt's Gambling Reality, because I like to talk about the reality of things, almost like what Storytime Slots is doing. You know, he's telling stories of the wins, the losses, the ups and downs, the happies, the sads, the disappointments, the excitements, the frustrations, everything. That's what I want to do, like similar too, you know. But mine is more like I'm doing slots though, so where I do like mostly Saturday live streams unless there's holidays. So yeah, that's what I want to do. And hopefully I can meet my hours. Right now I'm at 1,400 watch hours. 1,400. I'll need like 2,600 in like 7-8 months to really, you know, to really meet that requirement. And it seems like each live is giving me like a 150 to 200 average watch hours. So that's probably like, I don't know, that's probably like 15 more live streams to do. Unless I go 3 to 4 hours and a lot of people show up and I'm on a hot streak, then that would net me like 300, 400, 500 hours so per stream, for that stream, maybe 600, but we'll see depending on things. I just need to get really lucky. That's what it is. I just need to get really lucky with it, but of course maintain the budget. You know, I don't want to go overboard. Remember, we can only play what we can afford to lose though, you know. And should the crypto market be making another explosion, then I would be profiting off of that and taking a little bit of that money for my gambling. So just for that. So and I made some serious profits off of crypto and my company stock. So yeah, I'm at the 13-minute mark. I'll probably ramble on for another minute or two, but yeah, that's just what I'm gonna say. You know, that's my plan. I really do wanna push for it. And like I said, I'm gonna take a bye week next week on the week of January 10th, and I'll be back to the casino live on January 17th on Saturday, 1 p.m. Pacific time. I'll probably be at I might be at Cache Creek more so, you know, because I have better signal there and I have better luck over there. But yeah, that's just what I would say in regards to that. And I appreciate, and I know I sound like a broken record, but I much appreciate everybody's support here in this community. I know I may be uptight and impatient, but that's what happens when you do years and years of doing this thing, you know? You know, years and years of doing slots, and then you get taken out with something personal happens. Shut up, man. Just freaking honking the damn horn. And then, like, you know, it just keeps going on and on. Now I'm back for like after the 5th or 6th comeback, hoping to make something happen. I finally got my 1,000 subs, man. I finally got my 1K subs, dude. Finally did, man. I was happy for that. It took like how long? Oh, someone's driving aggressively. Yeah, it took my first channel getting up to 600 something subs and then all of a sudden getting deleted out of nowhere in 2022. Then I have to be forced to rebuild that. Took me up until like 2024 to get up to 600 subs again. Struggled in 2025, and then finally hit that 1K mark. And now I'm at 1,600 hours, so, or 1,400, I would say, hours. So, yeah, it's just gonna be like one hell of a grind for me, though. And you know, I'm not trying to sound like I'm needy or anything, you know, because of course, if there's something that happens, I have to, you know, I have to prioritize personal things first, obviously. But you know, I've been wanting to get this channel going, man. I've been wanting to. It's like all this heartbreak and falling short and just like losing viewership. It hurts, you know. But now I'm like in a better spot right now. You know, I am. So that's what I would want to say in regards to that, though. At least I'm in a better spot. There's like I have better momentum with this. And I just got to keep going. And I know I'm going to be off for like these next 2 weeks from the casino. And I'll be posting some videos and maybe shorts along the way just to cover my channel. So, yeah. Hoping for 2026 to be a better one. I'm not trying to say 2025 was all that terrible, but, you know, that's just been a lot of downs, I would say. I would say more so downs than ups, if anything. But there were some ups here and there. But I'm just glad that, you know, I'm starting to get the ball rolling. Hopefully when I go live again on the 17th, I am praying I do not regress back again. I do not want to regress back to under 20 concurrent viewers here. I don't want that. I'm like that's gonna make my watch hour top trying to meet it a lot harder. But you know, hopefully I can maintain what I did in New Year's and Christmas, though, having a good viewership. So, and it's too bad that I cannot do night live streams, though. I wish I could do like Saturday night live streams, but I got my folks to take care of it. I got to be there for them. So, yeah, and that's why I mainly do it in the daytime. But hopefully I'll get something out of it, man. You know. But we'll see. I appreciate everybody's support. Thanks for listening to this whole thing of me rambling. I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good one.